Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and as you can probably tell from Robin's attire, I'm going to continue work on my 20,000 bricks under the sea cabinet today, and that's a change of plan that was inspired by several comments, or rather probably one comment from several different people, about lighting the element that I did last time, that lava flow of my mid-ocean ridge. And it kind of got me thinking, kind of got me building with bricks, and that build session lasted way into the early hours of last night. So I am absolutely surrounded now. Bricks on the left of me, plates to the right, and I'm stuck in the middle with you. Good, good. Well, without further ado, this is what I've come up with as the centerpiece. Dun, dun, dun. Hold on, Robin, that's exactly the same as it was before, but with some rainbow brick visible. Well, no, it is actually a lot more complicated than that. Essentially, the problem that was highlighted was the fact that if this was just lit by the general lighting, it wasn't glowing anywhere near as much as the inside of the pyramid. And given it was part of the same lava flow and would have lava flow kind of coming out the back end of the pyramid as well, and that we had some extra strip lighting going begging, really it should be lit from underneath. So it glows really prominently, and then all the general glowy stuff around the outside of the scene is just lit by the general lighting. So yeah, I really liked that idea. Very good. A bit too late, if you ask me. But essentially it was impossible because all of this was flush to the bottom shelf glass with absolutely no space to get that strip lighting underneath. So essentially the idea was to raise this whole thing up just by one plate, and that is easier said than done, I can assure you, especially when you've got all of this studs on the side construction with these burp pieces. So yeah, I thought, go on then, I'll give it a go, because basically I couldn't stop thinking about it. I wanted to ignore you, but darn it, I couldn't. Grr. So before I forget, I'll give you your well-deserved bedoing now. And I'll show you what I did. So essentially, I have built on the underside a trench, and you can probably just see it, that one plate kind of gap underneath the actual lava flow along here, which allow me to put kind of a double strip of that lighting, actually, one going up and then coming back into the pyramid, that will light all of those bricks from underneath, and it does glow like crazy. So basically I've needed to add long rainbow plates wherever I can to sort of bridge this and give it a bit of strength so it doesn't all get pushed in. And the hardest bit was getting this lip bit right so there wasn't a gap on the underside of there. So basically that one there is a 1x2 brick with two studs on the side, and it is just, well, holding on to two tiles there, which will mean that our edge on the very edge of the cabinet is still very beautiful. And then we'll transition from the dark sand color here by way of this inverted slope and slope to the rock side profile on both sides, and then we've got our normal but slightly modified lava stream there. So if I add the UV light, we can see we've got all of that, and that will be very glowy from underneath, of course, now. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to need to raise the entire pyramid up by one plate, which is fine because we haven't done that biscuit yet. So that was part of the design process. And I also thought I could continue with the next bit of that lava flow underneath the stairs, which we'll probably never really lift up and never really see. But anyway, I'll know it's there and I can show it off on video. So basically I built this section, which is more studs on the side. Now I've just got a 1x1 round and 1x1 square in trans neon and normal trans orange, and we've got sort of 4 studs of it mounted onto that side facing that way, so there's a tile layer there and the opposite there, so 4 studs on that inside facing that way, and that goes like that. So if you can imagine the bottom of our stairs being there, our stairs going up here, and then we lift them up, we can see the lava stream continuing, albeit with this sort of siding, I suppose, down into this little archway, because we can't look straight into the pyramid because then we'll see all of that strip lighting just going round and round and round. So we kind of need a barrier there. And then through the tiny hole there, we'll have one more trans neon slope like that. and it'll all be seamless, and you won't be able to see any of these yellow bricks or anything else. So getting absolutely everything in exactly the right place for everything we've done already was a bit of a chore. And you may be thinking, well, what's this backdrop going to be? Well, if you remember under here, we've got two cylindrical gold kind of columns here and here, so that will break that up a lot. But also, I've got this Atlantis sticker sheet, and this is from 7985, City of Atlantis. And I thought I could put two Guardians on it, but I thought what I would do is just put this brick wall with the Atlantean symbol on it that's on every other flat surface. We can add it to some rocks later, and I think that will be a good backdrop for all of this, because it will be kind of at the end of a tunnel in a way. And then we could have a funny scene in here, but there isn't as much room as you'd think there would be once you've got the stairs closed. I mean, it's a very sort of steep triangular sort of area, not very big at all. Oh, anyway, right, so there we go. That took absolutely ages to do. Sorry, Robin. And now I think I can continue today doing, well, the next section and start to incorporate all of this with all of the pyramid and the steps and all the rest of it. That is the plan. So I think what I'm going to do is start building the right-hand side of the Biscuit for that bottom Atlantis level. And then hopefully I'm going to rebuild the pyramid on top of that as well today. And then I can start using all of my trans neon orange bricks in those sort of holes in the sides, so the sort of chinks of light to be spilling out of there as well when we do that. I'm also going to add a lot of black plates to the bottom of the pyramid, so when you do kind of look down from a sort of standing position into that very low shelf of the cabinet, you won't see, well, definitely not rainbow brick, but you also won't see dark tan plates as the base, making it look hollow. If it's black, I figure you'll just see kind of nothing. So that's the plan there. And then if we've got more time, we might even start on the top bit of the sort of lava flow, which I'm basing on this panel that we saw last time, and incorporating that into the rocks on the back side of the pyramid. Might not have time for that. Start doing all the background rock face. That might be next time. And adding even more Atlantis details to the front. So, yeah, an absolutely endless list to be getting on with. So let's get motoring and start at the top of it. Well, for any of you in doubt, I thought I'd give you a quick teaser as to how this bottom section will look with the UV light on. And, oh, wow, look at that. That is incredibly bright. As bright as the inside of the pyramid as well, and much better than being on just the general lighting. So yeah, that's going to be great, isn't it? When I've done it properly, I think it will be more all the way to the end. But yeah, that looks very, very bright indeed. Absolutely love that. So yeah, look even better when we've got the sort of third section coming out of the back of the pyramid as well, about here. So it'll go clunk, clunk, and then clunk through there. Very nice indeed. Ha! This is what inspired me to actually have a go. Okay, I've finally made a start on the second biscuit, the Atlantis biscuit, as I'm calling it. And it just shows how many pieces this sort of a build hoovers up. Absolutely loads. I'm using the leftover plates from the fairground, some of those big road plates that I've got in sets that I don't really use. I'm using the last of my dark tan bricks and the very few remaining dark bluish grey bricks I have for the sort of rock at the very bottom. And yeah, I'm starting to use all of these really large dark tan plates as well. So that one will go in there somewhere, covering up all of that rainbow brick. And then we'll transition a bit into black where we'll have the pyramids. That's going to be roughly where it's green at the moment. So it'll be quite tucked towards the right-hand corner of the cabinet. But that's because the divers will all be coming down on the left-hand side, and we want to have a kind of a gap in between the two. Maybe where they'll have a fight. Other things, I've stuck that sticker on there. I think it looks quite good, actually. It'll look even better when we've got the two sort of gold pillars up either side. I've made sure this fits in the cabinet with a big cutout on the back corner, so all of the wiring will fit, and a bit of an odd-shaped one at the front, and that's to accommodate the bottom hinge to hold that glass door, so it kind of slips into this position underneath the plate. And I'll probably make this more textured in due course, but I just want to get kind of a base level down so we can get the pyramid in, and I can make this nice and robust for sliding in and out of the cabinet. Oh, so yeah, it's going well. We've got our trench now firmly secure in place as well. I want to build all around that, so when I lift this up, it doesn't kind of sag in the middle as well. Yeah, I'll just keep on going, I guess. Well, this may not seem like much, but this biscuit has taken ages to get to this stage so far. So many bricks, so many different levels, so many different colours of plates in different areas and so on. So yeah, we're trying to achieve the maximum amount of brickage for the most economy of useful ones. But the result is very strong. I can lift it up and it encapsulates fully our interesting area that we've been working on so far. And that means I can lift this whole thing into and out of the cabinet so I can test it and then work on it and so on. So that's going to be really great. And the black section at the back was only made possible because of Russ's contribution, including these really big black plates, which are quite hard to use unless you've got them in pairs and you can put the two diagonal sides together. So that's really good. And the black is so when we look into the pyramid from the doorway up here and so on, we don't see any interesting bricks. We just see blackness, or rather just orangeness from the light, of course. And that'll be reflected off the large panels, which are going to be attached here and here in a big curve for the main door. So that's all good. Now you may have also noticed there's some holes in here, and that's for our string of lights. They're going to come in probably behind the rock wall, then go into the first hole, down the entire length of the lava crack here, back up, because I think it will be wide enough for two sets of lights, and I think that will make it even more bright. Then it can pop out of the second hole here, so that's going to be an absolute nightmare to do. And then I can wrap it round and round and round like we did last time, the top section and the bottom section of the pyramid. But we need to leave a little bit left, just so we can light up this section, which is going to be, as I keep saying, in the back wall behind the pyramid. Oh, so that does sound really tricky indeed. And I think I'm going to have to sort of build the pyramid as I did before, bit by bit on this biscuit now. So I'm going to have to dismantle the one I already did. So it's kind of one step backwards before making two steps forward. But at least I can use that opportunity to make it a bit stronger and to put in, of course, those chinks of orange in the broken bits of the wall. So yeah, that'll make it look even better. Oh, fantastic. Now, one thing I have to tell you as well is another idea suggested by you was around the hydrothermal vents, which I put back on. But I've also added now some much smaller ones with cones, or cones and plates, or cones, bricks and plates. So there's kind of a family of them around. It's not just two big ones in isolation. So thanks very much for that idea. Right, I don't know how much more time I've got today, but I'm going to make a start on transferring that pyramid. But you never know, when I get started, I might find it too addictive to stop and work into the early hours again. Well, I'm doing quite well. I've got half of it on, but that's probably where I'm going to call it. I'm doing completely different rear just because I need to have the wire coming in from this corner, as I said. So basically, I'm leaving a gap behind this burp and then behind this burp, and it'll kind of go right behind the pillar as well into, I think, the back wall lava flow first of all before going in, round, and then down the pipe down there. I think that's probably the most economical way. So this rock face is going to come up right behind the pyramid and then dip down for that lava bit and then go back up again and continue on its way. But I think this whole side will probably be quite tall actually. So rather than going down this just little step, I'll probably be pulling all of this off in due course to make this ramp up really quite steeply. And then we can have all sorts of interesting rock features and so on this side, which will be, well, the extreme right-hand side, because we're obviously looking at the back of this thing at the moment. So yeah, really good progress. Well, I absolutely love getting suggestions from my subscribers. I often say it's the best part of having a Lego channel, really. Your ideas making my builds even better. But sometimes they are, well, quite painful to do, quite time consuming. And raising this mid-ocean ridge by just one plate was much harder than it sounds. But we've done much more than that today. We've also encapsulated the idea for the hydrothermal vents, making more of those, and then encapsulated all of that in the right-hand part of our Atlantean biscuit. Now transferring the pyramid into place, even stronger, even more resilient, with the nice chinks of orange, which you probably can't see. There's one in. It's going to be really bright, really orangey, and really fantastic. So yeah, it may not look like much at the moment with bits of rainbow brick showing here and there, but yeah, a very, very vital step. And we've even got the stairway kind of held in by one side, showing that hidden area, which we'll have to think of a scene. It's going to have to be really quite small. I can only really get 2 fingers in there with the back wall going over the arch. I think that's quite a good idea, actually. I've put in one of the pillars. It looks really nice. But when that's all lit up, it'll look even better. Wow, really looking forward to that. So exciting times in the cabinet. I think I might have to push on with this element of the biscuit, at least with the pyramid on, and get it all lit and all working before going on to any other builds. Otherwise, you'll probably never forgive me. But wow, so far it's going so well. Why would I not? Really happy with this. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome LEGO videos. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, it will be a brick haul because it will be Wednesday. And hopefully I'll get loads more parts for the undersea cabinet because that is what I'm focused on at the moment. And then next time I think we'll come back to this build on Friday and do the next stage of getting it up and running, as I said. Oh, it's going to be great. So until all of that, see you. Nom 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 nom.